Hey everybody, once again, it's Kevin Ducey, president of Whiteboard, here with another Top Producer Spotlight, and I'm so lucky to be blessed by my friend, my roadshow homie, 5 feet of dynamite, mother of 5, the CEO of ReScore, Miss Janna Fox. Janna, how are you doing today?
Very good. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much. Some folks here may know us both and seen us at some of the conferences, but we've been at a ton of conferences together over the past 18 months. We've developed a friendship, and recently, about 6 months ago, you stepped out and started your own credit company called ReScore. ReScore Your Life. Tell me a little bit about it, and how's business?
Business is great. We're actually working a lot of hours, but that's a good thing. We feel very, very blessed, but we also feel very tired. But no, it's good. We just, ReScore is a company. It was me and 2 other ladies. All 3 of us own it, and we wanted to be able to be a good source for people and honestly help them, and not just prey on hopes and dreams and overpromise, underdeliver. There wasn't a lot of other really great credit repair companies out there, so if you can't find one, then next best thing is open one up yourself.
Right on. And you guys kind of find your niche specifically in the mortgage and real estate industry. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we partner with a lot of real estate agents and loan officers all over the United States. I do a lot of education is a big piece of it. Credit, nobody teaches credit. So there's so many misconceptions out there and just false information. So one of the things that I'm really, really passionate about is going out and debunking basically those misconceptions and making sure people are doing what they should to help their credit score. Because so many times in credit, you think you're helping, you actually hurt your credit. And it's horrible when that happens.
Yeah, you were telling me a story about that right before we started as we were prepping, is that, a loan officer in the right frame of mind trying to help their client gave them some suggestion and walk me through what happened there.
Yeah, so I get a call and this loan officer is absolutely panicking. Well, this client had a collection on the credit report. I think I can say what it's from, but it was from Verizon. And it was 3 years old. And the guy, I guess he had switched over carriers and the other company was supposed to take care of that finer fee and they didn't. Well, he had no idea until he went to apply for a loan. So this loan officer saw it and he was like, hey, I tell you what, in order for me to get this through underwriting because of the amount, I need you to pay off that collection. So of course the consumer did. And then when he did, it dropped his points 110 points. So now he's not eligible for his loan because it dropped his score so badly. So the loan officer, of course, called me and he's like, oh my gosh, I need you to work your magic. I don't understand what happened. Everything's fine. It was great 2 weeks ago and now his score's just tanked. Well, then I noticed there was a paid collection on his credit report. I was like, bud, like that is the worst thing you can do. Like when you pay a collection, it updates the last date of activity and date reported, and it actually calculates the FICO as if it's a brand new collection. So it doesn't remove it. It just shows up as a paid collection, actually drops the scores. There's really
on a collection that this guy shouldn't even probably had to pay, right?
Absolutely. And the other sad thing about it is we could have fought that if it wasn't paid. But once that collection's paid, the ball's basically in their court, and they really don't work with us very well sometimes, but that particular company wouldn't.
It's kind of funny, we are at a lot of these conferences and we hear our friends and our customers talk about, like, be the expert in your industry and how they do use tools such as MBS Highway and get stuff from Barry or a mortgage coach or wherever you may be able to get that, so you can talk to your borrowers and your partners from a place of expertise. That's you in this situation. I think that one thing that our customers need to understand is that they aren't the credit expert. The credit expert is you. The credit expert is ReScore. And we're seeing a really valuable instance here where we possibly have a chance where a guy's not going to be able to get a loan, not get a house. And especially in today's current economic situation, that's going to be harder than ever with the changing dynamics of what score you need to be able to be approved for underwriting. What do you see coming in the future? You guys are going to get nothing but busier, I would imagine. Is that what you're expecting here in the next 6 months to a year?
Yeah, absolutely. We were a little bit scared, obviously, and worried when all this stuff hit. And we just kind of were holding our breath for like a day. And then after that, I mean, our phones are blowing up. So it's definitely good. I think guidelines are changing. So people, consumers actually have to have higher credit scores than what they did before. And so it just makes you realize how every single point is so valuable for that consumer. So there's times that we don't even have to remove something negative per se. There's just things you can do on a credit report to raise those credit scores. And it's important to know what those are.
Now one thing I think I've heard is, I've heard this from other people. They're worried about going to a credit repair company because they're worried about the cost. A loan officer might be worried. Do they have to pay for it? How does the payment system work if somebody's going to come to you and say, "Hey, Janna, be my credit repair partner"?
That's a great question. So it really depends on the credit repair company. I'll speak to how we do it. We only charge our clients for the negative items removed from the credit report. So if we go after 25 collections and only remove 15, we only charge for the 15 we removed, not the 25 we went after. And the reason why we set our company up like that is because we want to make sure that our referral partners can refer us out with a clear conscience. They don't have to worry about their clients being put on a month-to-month payment plan and if something happens or not. There's so many credit repair companies that put their clients on a month-to-month. So they say, oh, pay $150 every month and we'll hope something comes off. Well, why would you pay for hopes? That doesn't make any sense. Plus, that type of business model, they're clearly going to drag it out as long as possible because they're paying their payroll. With us, our credit coaches don't get paid unless they're able to remove something from a credit report. And we did it that way because we want our employees to have that fire under their bellies to get things removed and get them removed quickly.
And it's always awesome when I hear you speak, but it's also sometimes frustrating because they normally, a lot of times at some of these conferences we get put back to back, and I charge customers money. They have to buy my software. You're like, hey, it's free for you guys. We're just gonna fix it for you. I'm like, oh, everybody loves Janna because she's free. So, now you've been in the industry for a while, and the last company you worked with was similar in that process. So tell me, like, how in the world did you get into this side of the world? I mean, nobody says, "Hey, I want to grow up and be a credit repair person someday."
Right? That's actually really funny. So way back in like my former life, I sold real estate. So off and on between having kids. You had mentioned I have 5 kids. So yeah. So in between having kids and when I could go back to work, I sold real estate, and then I found myself in a divorce situation. And so I actually needed help with credit. And so I went to this guy to get help. I didn't know what I was doing. And he had came to my office a couple times, and telling me everything about it. I was like, okay, sounds good. So I did, and I paid him every month. And I was broke, by the way, this time in my life, but I needed help. So I paid him $150 a month. I did this for 7 months. Nothing happened. I was in the same situation that I was before. So I was actually working. I kind of got back into the real estate industry, but it was tough. I had a bunch of little babies, and I mean, every real estate agent knows how busy they are. And so I was just like at a loss. So this guy came in and he was like, hey, I really like you. I think you would do a good job. And they just started this credit repair company. He's like, would you come work for us? And I was like, no. Like, I don't even believe in your industry. Like, no, and I wasn't even polite about it. And if you know me, I sometimes,
Yes.
I'm polite. I'm very polite and sweet, but like.
Would you direct?
I'm very direct, yes. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not going to rip people off. I have to raise children and feel good about myself. And I think that you guys are ambulance chasers. Not interested. Nope. But when I finally shushed and listened to the difference, and plus he was so persistent. So this is actually a funny story, but I needed to do something different besides for real estate. And again, I was going through divorce and I was very poor. So I needed a fax machine. I needed a phone. I needed things like that and an email so I could send out my resume. So I was like, fine, I'll work for you for 30 days just to see if it works. Well, I was sending out my resume the entire time, and you got to survive. And I actually worked with a client, and within that like 35 days, I ended up getting a job offer. But this client, they were like, yeah, I want you to work for me. I was like, oh, you do? So by the time the results came back and I saw that it really worked, I was like, what the heck is this? So then I finally listened to the training. Then I finally listened to the difference in us and other credit repair companies. And then I was like, okay, this actually is legitimate. And it was the best thing I ever did. I am so passionate about my job and what I do. And when I learned what the credit bureaus do and the collection companies do on purpose to keep FICO scores low, because here's the thing people don't think about. If FICO scores are low, people pay higher what?
Interest rates.
Interest rates. So there's more money circulating in the economy. So nobody's helping these consumers out, and they're getting screwed over on a daily basis. Well, once I found that out, you want to talk about a crusade? I can even go into a gas station to get a drink or get gas without stopping everyone and being like, do you know what's going on with your credit? Like, it was just, but it opened up this passion in me to help people, and I absolutely love what I do. I would not do anything different.
That's so awesome, and to hear your passion and about how you take care of people. I mean, it translates to everything that you do in life, and I think it's why we're friends and we remain close after just meeting a year and a half or so ago. So You know, if I'm a loan officer here, and that's you know, that's my clientele obviously, and I'm sitting there and I'm wanting, you know, a lot of our folks, a lot of my customers, we have a pre-built 18-month credit repair campaign that has some basic information, and I encourage all of them, get a credit repair partner, and get Janna, get ReScore. I would really encourage it. Nobody's going to work harder for you than this lady and her team. But if they were needing to reach out to you, needing to link up with you, how do they go about doing that? How should I tell my customers to link up with you?
There's a couple different ways they can do it. They can go to our website, which is www.rescoreyourlife.com. I just realized it's right behind me.
That's awesome. Hey, it's there for a reason.
Yeah, there you go. So they can go there. It's backwards. They can go there, and then they can go. It's on the upper right-hand corner. It says become a partner. They can go there, fill out the really quick jot form. The more information they put on that jot form, the easier it is for me to track them down. We can do it that way, and then I'll send them out an email and set them up with one of our credit coaches, or they can text me. Text, please. If you call, it's really tough because I do things like this all day, and I'm on the phone all day. So text me, and my number is 816-686-9860. That is my personal cell phone number. Text me and say, hey, Janna, I want to become a partner with you. Tell me all about it. And then I'll get on the phone with you or do a Zoom and explain how we're different than other credit repair companies. Tell you a little bit about ReScore and get you set up with a credit coach.
Yeah, one last thing, Janna, you know, we're talking about this, and I've seen it happen directly with a family member of mine, but I can't imagine like the level of praise, respect that a customer would feel like. Let's say I'm coming to a loan officer and you refer me to you. All right, and all of a sudden you help fix my credit, and I get a loan with you as the loan officer. You didn't give up on me. I would imagine that 9 times out of 10 people just give up on them. Can you share any stories of anybody that you've heard of, like, hey, you helped restore somebody's credit, they ended up getting a home, and they credit the loan officer along with you in that process?
Oh, that's exactly what happens, honestly. Like we end up, we're just kind of the shadows. We're taking care of those clients for our referral partners to be able to basically build their pipeline and close a deal with them in about 80 to 120 days. But the amount of gratitude that those clients have for that loan officer or that real estate agent that paused for a second, didn't just like treat them like, hey, sorry, you have credit issues, we're going to throw you in the trash, really took that time to do that. They are so incredibly grateful, and they are singing their praises like all over the place. Like, you've got to talk to my guy. You've got to talk to my guy. And even like DC or Darren Copeland, he tells us all the time, he's like, guys, thank you so much. I just got a couple more referrals, you know, just because you guys are doing such a bang up job. You guys are my rock stars. And we take that partnership so seriously, because like our loan officer success is our success. And that's what we want to do. And it really does. It just, you know what? You have to remember the human behind the FICO score. That's the end of the day. You know, crap happens, you know, and so it's life happens. And it's not a character rating, it's a credit rating. So remembering that is really important.
Right. And I you know, it's funny, I did one of these recently with Isabel Williams, with We Save Loans down in Florida. And she talked about how she loves taking on the hard loans because it is the American dream. This is the American dream too. Lord knows we've made mistakes in our past, especially me. I would have dealt with this when I was younger if it wasn't for my wife, who helped me tremendously with understanding finances. So I get it. You really are enabling people to have the American dream along with that loan officer, to fix their credit, get in a home, and change the overall dynamic of their life, because nothing changes generational wealth more than a home. And so I tip my hat to you and what you do for people. Thank you for being my friend. Once again, to my customers, anybody out there listening to this, if you need help, rescoreyourlife.com. See my girl Janna. She will take care of you, I promise. Thank you, Janna, so much for your time today.
Thank you. I really appreciate you.
Take care.